Hello and welcome to the Grand Tour Fans, the channel from fans for fans. My name is Fons van Hart and I'm your host. Let's go to the news first. As we showed you in earlier videos on our channel, Clarkson, Hammond and May were filming in Cambodia and in Vietnam. But things stopped. They weren't moving forward, we didn't get information, and out of the blue the trio was back in the UK. Jeremy later explained what happened in his column in the Times. They were surprised by a heavy monsoon just after they started filming a segment where the trio tried to cross part of the South Chinese Sea, which is as known one of the most dangerous and treacherous seas in the world. As filming got underway, they were hit by the monsoon as soon as they rode into the sea, with James having to be rescued. According to The Sun, Clarkson said in an interview, "I of course was fine, but May had to abandon ship as crew boats were filling with water. It was an incredibly dramatic ending which was entirely accidental," he explained. The ending we planned, that we spent hundreds of thousands of pounds on, that we had researched for months, didn't happen. As a result of the conditions, we simply couldn't complete the shoot. But because of the conditions, we had one hell of an ending, an astonishing ending. He also told this in a video on Drive Tribe.
We've just done the first one and there is an incredibly dramatic ending, but it was entirely accidental. The ending we'd planned, that we'd spend hundreds of thousands of pounds on, that we'd researched for months, didn't happen. Not a mile away from where we were, 4 people were killed. And as a result of the conditions, we simply couldn't complete it. But because of the conditions, we have one hell of an ending. It'll be an astonishing show.
Right now the trio is celebrating a holiday break, on which we'll come back later. We don't know anything about new plans for filming, but as soon as they start and we know it, we'll inform you. So subscribe to this channel and click on that notification bell somewhere down there or whatever, just to stay updated. Meanwhile, Clarkson, Hammond and May are busy with their own shows. James spent a few months in Japan for a new Amazon show, Our Man in Japan, where he is getting to know more about Japanese culture, learn to eat noodles with chopsticks, and visiting temples and very special festivals. The 6 episodes of Our Man on Japan are expected to be available later in this year on Amazon Prime. Richard is busy with his show for Discovery Channel with the ironic title Big. In this 10-part documentary, he is going to explore world's biggest structures and machines. Hammond is going to find out how engineers go about building, maintaining and using these structures. Filming is underway and Richard has been spotted on various locations around the world. Here's a little video.
Hi, I'm Richard Hammond and I've got some big news about my new television series. I'm going to be travelling the globe, taking you behind the scenes at some of the world's biggest feats of engineering. From the world's longest underground railway tunnel to a container ship the size of 4 football pitches. It's going to be massively fun and exciting. It's going to be big.
We expect Big will premiere on Discovery Channel late 2019. Jeremy will appear once again in Who Wants to Be a Millionaire later this year. Recordings took place in July in Manchester and it's the 3rd series of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire presented by Clarkson. It is starting this month on ITV. But that's not all we can see from Jeremy. He's also making a show which hardly anyone expected from him, about farming. In this show called I Bought a Farm, he will cover the hard reality of being a farmer from extreme weather conditions to pest control. And let's not forget the paperwork. Clarkson bought his 1,000-acre farm many years ago, and it's located in Chipping Norton, about 2 miles from his house where nowadays his ex-wife and children live. At this farm, called the Diddley Squad Farm, he grows wheat, barley and oilseed rape. The house of the farm has been demolished by Hammond and May, which we could see in the first season of the Grand Tour. As far as we know now, the construction of his new house hasn't yet started. But we know that all the paperwork and permits and go on are approved, so reconstruction can start anytime soon. Recently he made a surprise appearance at the Shearwell Thames Summer Sheep Fair, where he showed up with a camera team and a few producers. He purchased 78 so-called North of England mule shearlings. According to the breeder, they are an ideal ewe for somebody just starting out in sheep farming. The sheep will be introduced to the farm in autumn of this year. The release date of Abbie farm is yet unknown, but is expected early 2020 on Amazon Prime. Now let's get over to the other news and gossip. But first I would like to know if you like this new kind of video we make. We don't know, of course, what you think, and we would appreciate if you hit that like button and tell us in the comments here below what you think. Recently, the Radio Times website held a poll amongst their Twitter users about who the best presenter of Top Gear was. Top Gear is now running for 42 years and there have been 33 different faces on the show. Of course, Jeremy couldn't resist to reply on this poll, and his simple tweet was me. Well, even if he wouldn't have done this self-promotion, it was pretty clear he would be a very good candidate. But the end result was overwhelming. With a staggering 74% of the 5,000 votes, Clarkson ended up in the first place. Second was James May with 9%, and Richard came third with 5%. That leaves 12% for the remaining 30 presenters. In one of his latest columns in The Sun, Clarkson explained about his nearly death experience a little while back. After my morning ablutions, I looked back to see what I'd produced and damn near had a heart attack. The whole bowl was stained blood red. Well, that's it, I figured. I've got bottom cancer. Munched around for a couple of hours, touching photographs of the children, staring wistfully at next year's calendar, thinking, well, won't be doing that, won't be doing that, won't be doing any of that. And then when I went to the fridge and found a plate of beetroot I hadn't finished off the day before. I swear to God that stuff had to come with a health warning, advising people that it will make your numbers 2 the color of Marilyn Monroe's lips. A little while before his holiday, a picture appeared on Jeremy Clarkson's Instagram account. We can see his girlfriend Lisa Hogan watering the vegetable gardens in the courtyard of his farm. Suddenly it came to us where he's got that inspiration from.
Help yourself pop-up street allotment for organic vegan peace hippie.
A fan on Twitter asked Jeremy what happened to the cars after filming. The Jeep from Colombia and the Alfa from Scotland are at my house, he replied. But that's not the complete answer, as we know. He also kept the Excellent, the vehicle you remember that was made from a Land Rover Discovery chassis and a Mercedes SL body. It was seen in episode 9 in the first season of the Grand Tour. James also saved one of the cars he drove. He wanted his Beach Bugs buggy he used in Namibia in season 1 so badly that he added it to his car collection. Next to that, he bought a new Alpine A110 after he tested it in episode 5 of the 3rd season. As far as we know, Richard didn't took any of the cars from the show to his house. In the Top Gear years, all, or at least most of the cars they used, were retrieved back to England, and some of them can be seen now by the public at the Beaulieu Museum near Southampton. We presume the same happens to the cars of the Grand Tour, but we know for sure the car called the John, from Mongolia special, never returned. It was demolished in Mongolia due to problems with export papers. As I mentioned earlier, Clarkson, Hammond and May are celebrating their summer holidays. Clarkson shared some pictures and short movies on his Instagram account, and it looks like he's in France, near what it looks like the Gulf, or at least he was in Orleans. Richard is spending his time with his family, deep in the south of France, in the region around Saint-Tropez. Meanwhile, they also celebrated the birthday of one of his daughters. James stayed closer at home, which is very understandable, after he spent months and months in Japan making a show for Amazon. Meanwhile, in England, his house was demolished and rebuilt. We suppose it's now about ready to get back for him to move in, and that will be plenty of time taking for him. But he's enjoying himself. He's playing around with his American Scout airplane, which he flew last week around Compton Abbas. And now it's time for the questions from our viewers. We ask our subscribers to send us questions about the Grand Tour, the presenters, that we can try to answer. They won't go directly to the presenters, but we will try it. First, the most important questions which keep popping up over and over again, and not only on various comments on our channel, but also on groups and Twitter and Instagram and you name it. Those questions will return over and over again. For example, how different will the show be from previous seasons? There will be no audience, no tent, no studio, nothing like that. It implicates there will be no more conversation street and no more fast laps around a track. All episodes will gonna look and feel like the specials as we know them. You remember Namibia, Colombia and Mongolia. And didn't you enjoy them? Another question we see often, does Abbie Eaton come back? We don't know, we really can't give you an answer. But remember, she showed up in an episode in Georgia and Azerbaijan where she raced a car. So it's possible she does pop up from time to time. How many episodes can we expect in the new series? Well, Andy Wilman gave an answer to that. Andy is the executive producer and co-founder of the show, and he said in a tweet early this year, around 5 episodes per season. So we listen to him. How many seasons can we expect? So far, we only know there's certainty about 2 more seasons, season 4 and season 5. Another question keeps popping up, when does season 4 start? We expect early 2020. If you look at the schedule, season 8 started in November, season 2 in December and season 3 in January. So the interval between the seasons is 13 months. February would be logical, but someone asked Clarkson on Twitter the question right after filming in China, and he replied a few months from now. Knowing that Top Gear is certainly coming with a Christmas special, we won't be surprised if the Grand Tour is doing the same. In which countries are they going to film? Do they come to my country? Well, we don't know. For this season, only 7 countries was mentioned by Clarkson, which are Colombia, Laos, Thailand, Myanmar, Vietnam, Malaysia and Singapore. Well, we know they've been in Cambodia and Vietnam, so only 5 names remain, which aren't certain. Maybe they go back to that part of Asia, maybe they won't. We wait and have to see. Attila Rosgoni asked, are you guys ever likely to do a Grand Tour live show again, touring around the world? Well, we don't expect that to happen. Clarkson, Hammond and May are too busy with the Grand Tour, and there are other shows. Gokul S asked, will it be the end of the Grand Tour when these legends are gone? We hope, of course, that they will get very, very, very old. But it's not likely the Grand Tour will go on after one of them won't be here anymore. You've seen what happened with the other show they left. And I think they'd rather end the show themselves instead of having it killed by some bozos. William Keane 4757 asked, what season do you guys think was the best? The question, if it was to us, we say without any doubt season 3. We gave the first 2 seasons an average of 8.5 out of 10 points, but season 3 just got to have a 9.5. Rick Grimes from Germany asked, Rick Grimes, did the chopper took you all the way to Germany from The Walking Dead, Rick? No. Sorry, back to your question. It would be wonderful if Conversation Street would go further. Can we expect something like that? Well, Rick, we agree with you, it was a very nice segment, but we think the news, and especially in seasons 8 to 15 of Top Gear, were way better. But that's nothing to do with the Grand Tour or what. It's logical. They could talk about things that just happened. Well, on the Grand Tour, in the time between recording and streaming on Amazon, it's at least 6 weeks. So the news they did is old before it's got streamed. But would like to see something back. Maybe it would be great if the 3 sat together in a monthly chat on DriveTribe, for instance. It would definitely raise the monthly amounts of visitors on DriveTribe. Maybe an idea, but for sure it's not coming back in the Grand Tour. And with that last question, it's time to end. We hope you enjoyed this video and won't ask you to like, share, subscribe, hit the bell thing and what so on. You'll just be back next time. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Goodbye. Three, two, one. Part 3541. Maybe we could do it this time.